Hey everybody, welcome. This is No Bones About Wrestling. I am Asa, and beside me here is the lovely Kay Fabulous, the hostess with the mostest. And yeah, this is AEW Weekly. And so we're going to talk about the past week in AEW. We're even going to look forward to the next week a little bit. And we're going to talk about the TV shows from this past week. Well, the TV show, the 4 hour block that we had on Wednesday. We're going to talk about that, give out the bone ratings for the matches. We'll rank the top 5 men, women, and teams. We're going to have a little discussion. We have Kay Fabulous's Fashion Corner and some more also. So it should be a good time.
Agreed.
And I think at the end of the time, we'll have learned a little about each other and maybe a little bit about ourselves too.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so we'll start with the TV report here. Fighter Fest, as it was called last week in Denver, Colorado, last Wednesday. Do I have the right? I have the right thing, don't
I believe so. What's
Yeah.
the first match, John?
You're in
Moxley?
fourth, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
We had a non-title match with world champion John Moxley, leader of the Death Riders, took on Mark Briscoe, and it was a pretty good match. Nice way to start the show off. John Moxley choked out Mark Briscoe, and Briscoe was knocked out. Moxley wins the match. Good match, as I said, 4 bones out of 5. Up next, we saw the other world champion, the women's champion, Toni Storm.
Oh, wait, can I ask a question? Are we talking about these as you go through them, or were you talking about
If you want to.
I was just going to say that should have been a hardcore match. Because
What?
it was anyway. The John Moxley and Mark Briscoe match.
Oh.
You know? Because I feel like they could have gotten even more into it. That is all.
I see. Women's world champion Toni Storm teaming up with the woman that she beat at Double or Nothing, Mina Shirakawa, and they took on Sky Blue and Hounds of Hell member Julia Hart, former TBS champion Julia Hart. It was a pretty good tag match here. Sky Blue definitely the weak link in the match, but it was a good match nonetheless. Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa pick up the win. Gave this one 3.5 bones out of 5. Okay, you have anything to say about the women's tag?
Sky Blue needs some more practice.
Okay. Up next, we had a trios match. We saw La Facción Ingobernable. That's Rush, his brother Drolistico, and their partner, the Beast Mortos. And they took on the team of Commander, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. And this very entertaining match. LFI, kind of the strong style guys with some high flying mixed in there. And of course, Commander, Speedball Bailey, and Kevin Knight, mostly high flying stuff. Bailey mixes in some, what is he, jujitsu? Is that what he knows? Is that what he does?
I believe so, but I'm not positive.
Well, bless you.
Thank you.
Anyways, so good matchup, different styles. Kevin Knight pinned the Beast Mortos, so Commander, Speedball Bailey, and Kevin Knight got the win. 4.5 bones out of 5. Excellent match.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And the main event of the of the Dynamite half of Fighter Fest was the international title 4-way match that they'd been setting up for a week or so. And that is international champion Kenny Omega defending against Brody King of the Hounds of Hell, Claudio Castagnoli of the Death Riders, and Mascara Dorada of CMLL. And this one, another mix of styles. We saw Kenny Omega with his technical abilities, his high flying prowess, take on the strength of Brody King, the pound for pound strength of Claudio Castagnoli, and of course the high flying ability of Mascara Dorada. Excellent mixture of styles in this match. Led to a very good match. Kenny Omega got the win, kept the international title. And I gave this one 4.5 bones out of 5. Match of the night for Dynamite, for the Dynamite half of the show, it was Commander Speedball and Kevin Knight beating LFI, though.
I'm so interested to see which is going to be your match of the week.
Match of the week?
Yeah.
We'll see. I haven't picked it out yet.
That was the match of the Dynamite half of the night.
Yeah. All right, so Collision half of the night, also June 4th, also in Denver. Opened up with Will Ospreay, who I think is probably the best wrestler in the world at the moment. And he took on Leo Rush, the little man in the spiked jacket. Rush, accompanied by Action Andretti, his tag team partner in Crew, or The Crew. I'm not sure which they're called.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Yeah. Feel free to throw it in the chat if you know.
Yeah. Will Ospreay got the pin on Leo Rush. No surprise there. Would have been a shocker had Rush beaten Ospreay. And Ospreay got the win. Good match here, despite the obviousness of who was going over. 4 bones out of 5. Ospreay got the win. And there, I think I see Switch with a comment.
Yep, they're back. Hey, fam.
Yeah, what's up, Switch?
And also Linda C saying that she reposted the stream. Awesome. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, we were gone. What was it? Saturday, we were going to do shows. We're no longer doing WWE content. We are still doing WWF retro content, but no WWE content. We found out Vince McMahon still owns stock in TKO, so we're not doing that. We're not promoting that. What else? Did we miss something else? No, is that it?
You mean no? It was just the 2 shows.
No, it's that. Okay. But yeah, we're back. We're back. And also, my voice was kind of going this weekend too, so it just was not. I talked a lot last week on the shows, so.
And yesterday we fucked up StreamYard, but now it's fixed.
Oh, that's what it was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday the show was supposed to
happen. I was going to do AEW Weekly yesterday, and
That's
I
a
fucked
normal
up.
time.
Yeah, I fucked up signing us back up for StreamYard, which is how we broadcast these things. And so that's why we're doing it tonight.
That's also why we're back on X now.
Right, true. Yes, we're on X and YouTube.
And Twitch.
And Twitch. And K Fabulous's Twitch. So following Ospreay versus Ospreay versus Leo Rush, we had FTR accompanied by Stokely, and they took on Atlantis Jr. and Templario from CMLL.
Wait, did he drop the Hathaway and now he's just Stokely?
I believe he is just Stokely now, yes.
Interesting.
Good match. FTR trying to ground the High Flyers. The High Flyers not letting it happen. Trying to fight against the ground game of FTR, who very much styled themselves after Anderson and Blanchard of back in the day.
For real, guys. Can I interrupt and talk about that real quick? So we just watched what we were watching, the best of Starrcade.
83 through 87.
83 through 87. And Arn Anderson was in several of the matches, but oh my God, it's just like watching Dax Harwood was like a time machine. He modeled himself so strongly after Arn Anderson. I love it. Like, I'm so grateful to Dax because I feel like I've seen FTR live and it's like I got to see Arn Anderson wrestle live, Like, it's just, I love that he was so inspired and like moved by his style of wrestling that he just like completely adopted it.
Mm-hmm.
Very awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as Kay said, going back and watching an Arn Anderson match is like watching Dax Harwood. I mean that in the best way for Dax Harwood, really.
This is not a knock at him at all. This is a thank you, Dax Harwood.
But FTR, they pick up the win. Dax cheats, helps Cash Wheeler reverse a suplex. FTR gets the pinfall win. That is their 5th match, their 5th win in a row, rather. And this was an excellent match. Their win over Atlantis Jr. and Templario, 4.5 bones out of 5. Great match.
He's not in the fashion, but I gotta say, Templario looks awesome. I love all the like religious icons and incorporated into his outfit, like the Knights of the Templar. It's very cool.
Iconography.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, I guess he's supposed to be a Knight of the Templar, a member of the Knights Templar. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that's his gimmick or what. I don't know.
Well, the name Templar, you gotta be something. And
Excuse
like all
me.
the crosses on him.
Well, yeah,
It's gotta be something.
I think that's his gimmick.
Even his mask has like the old double cross that used to be
You're
on
doing the
tails.
Batman. You're doing the
The
Batusi
Batman dance.
from Pulp Fiction is what we were talking about, and for Batman the
Batman
series
60?
Batman 66.
6.
That series. Um, Up next, we had a trios match. We had Kyle Fletcher team up with former international champ Konosuke Takeshita. Those two, of course, of the Callis family. They teamed up with Hechicero of CMLL. That's a great team, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And they took on Bandito and the Outrunners, or as they were called, Los Outrunners. And it's a shame, we were talking about this last week. The Outrunners were on top of AEW. I mean, as far as popularity, no one was getting bigger pops than they. I mean, they were in the top 5, we'll say, of pops.
Yeah.
And then Tony Khan had them get destroyed by the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah. And it like destroyed everything.
Yeah, it destroyed them, and now they're enhancement talent, essentially.
Yeah, I really fucked that up pretty badly. No Country for Old Cream Pies. Feel free to check out AEW. It's getting awesome. Like it's as good as it's ever been. I feel like right now.
What did he say?
He said he hasn't watched AEW in a while.
Very good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Very good lately, as Kay said. Yeah, I agree.
There's a 4-hour show tonight. We're doing a watch along if you want to join us. Summer Blockbuster.
They've had several high points. They've had several high points throughout the years, and I feel like they're in one right now. The booking has been great. The performances have been fantastic. They've been having CMLL guys on there. It's just been a blast lately, yeah. And a level of unpredictability I have not seen in quite a while.
Yeah, I'd say that was like our biggest complaint about them recently, and they've kind of fixed that. So
Yeah.
It's good to see. I want this trios team of Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, and Hechicero to take on the Ops and win the titles from them. They're ready. They're like one match together, and I'm like sold on them.
Yeah, they're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Fletcher, Takeshita, and Hechicero got the win. Kyle Fletcher got the pin on one of the Outrunners after hitting a brainbuster. And Fletcher, Takeshita, and Hechicero pick up the win. 4.5 bones out of 5. Another very good match on this collision, the second half of Fighter Fest here.
I think he meant he got one of the pins on one of the Los Outrunners.
Correct. Well, he got the pin on one of Los Outrunners.
Yes, yeah. I guess, yeah, not one of the Los Outrunners. I was trying to correct you, and then you had to correct me.
Yes.
We're even.
Up next, we had a title match. It was for a Ring of Honor title, but a title nonetheless. They have like 10 titles over there in Ring of Honor. But this was for the Ring of Honor World Television title. The champion Nick Wayne, accompanied by Christian and Mother Wayne. He took on Sammy Guevara, who's one half of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions with Dustin Rhodes. Also defended against A.R. Fox and Lee Johnson, who was accompanied by Blake Christian. This was a fun aerial affair. A lot of bouncing back and forth, a lot of flips, a lot of flying. And Nick Wayne came out the winner. He pinned A.R. Fox after a fisherman's buster. So nice breaking that out. And Nick Wayne continues his winning ways, keeps the Ring of Honor World Television title. And this, a good match, 4 bones out of 5.
You know, it would have made it an even better match if Blake Christian had actually been in it and not just accompanying Lee Johnson to the ring.
Yeah.
He's such an awesome wrestler. I want
He's
to
very
see
good.
more of him in AEW.
Blake Christian, you mean?
Yes, Blake Christian. That's why I wanted him in the match.
Why don't you tell the people what happened in this match, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Not a ton to say. Thekla, in her debut match, beat Lady Frost by submission to her submission move called the Death Trap. She was pretty impressive in this. It's a squash match, and so Asa did not rate it, but what a great debut. We were worried that it was going to be like super short, but I feel like Thekla was able to get in some pretty cool moves. There was one at one point where she had like trapped Lady Frost against the ropes, I think upside down, if I'm remembering correctly. Do you remember that? It
Yes.
was like kind of like a spider web move. It was awesome.
Is it Tekla or Thekla?
I said Thekla.
Thekla?
Yeah, with a TH. Am I not saying it? That's a
No, no, I'm saying I'm not sure.
Oh, no, I think it's
Thekla.
Thekla. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, nice debut. And Thekla won by submission to the Death Trap, as she called it.
Mm. So we got some comments I'm going to throw in here real quick. So Switch saying poor guy AR Fox from the previous four-way match. The Graveyard Ship Wrestling show us. What is the watch it already? I'm not sure what that question is asking. No? Okay. And then Switch says he's liking that spider lady. She had a great spear. That is true. Her spear was excellent. I'm not a big spear person, but she did great. And Eric's saying hello.
Hey,
Eric.
what's up, Eric? And the main event of Fighter Fest, I guess the main event of Collision, we had TNT champion Adam Cole and the rest of the Paragon, Kyle O'Reilly and former international champ Roderick Strong. They teamed up with former TNT champ Daniel Garcia. They took on the Callis family, Lance Archer, Josh Alexander, Trent, and Rocky Romero, accompanied by Don Callis. And this was a fun main event, a fun 8-man tag. I really love what Don Callis has been doing with the Callis family. Just having this huge stable. He can do a tag match. He can have a singles match. He can has enough to do an 8-man tag. I love it. This is Switch and I weeks ago, a couple months ago, we're saying, we miss giant stables like Bobby the Brain Heenan had in WWF in the late 80s, where, he had tag teams, he had singles wrestlers, he could do this, he could do that, different mixtures. And now that's what we have with Don Callis. And I love it.
Do you think that they need to develop a face stable of the same size in AEW?
No.
Because heels like to gang up on people, so their stable should be bigger.
Right.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be boring if you had like the 8 top faces together.
Yeah.
It'd be boring and would take away from all their merchandise sales. So no, just have them separate.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Paragon and Daniel Garcia pick up the win. Adam Cole pinned Rocky Romero after hitting the boom, which is his knee shot to the back of the head. This match, 4 bones. Good one to end on. Collision was very good. The Collision half of this show was very good. Let's see. Match of the night on Collision was FTR beating Atlantis Jr. and Templario. And I'm going to say the match of the week for AEW, I'm going to say Commander, Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight beating LFI.
Yeah, we agree on that for sure.
That was the AEW match of the week.
Did you prefer the Collision half to the Dynamite half, or you were just commenting that the Collision half was good?
I was just commenting.
Okay, because I think they were both excellent.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's hoping tonight's 4-hour show is going to go as well.
And as quickly. It felt like it went by so fast, even though they had an overrun.
Yeah, didn't feel like 4 hours. We're not going yet. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
We're doing a watch along from 7:55 till midnight. So get your coffee ready.
Till midnight.
Yeah. Me, K Fabulous, Switch will be here, and Wolf may be here tonight. So we'll see. But it's gonna be a good time. And coming up next, we have K Fabulous and her AEW fashion report.
And I have something awesome that hopefully will work. Let's see. So that's my new fashion intro. So shout out to Mindrunner who made that for me. It's awesome.
You don't want to hear my song?
No, I don't. So
Do.
If you are making a reappearance on AEW after a brief hiatus, do show up looking like an evil Stevie Nicks in a flowy all-black dress with black sheer fabric draped across yourself, as Mother Wayne did.
Don't.
If you are going up against the Timeless One, don't come out to the ring wearing anything retro, as Mercedes Moné did, because her go-go dancer outfit can't hold a candle to Toni Storm.
Do.
Speaking of Toni Storm, if you are the Timeless One, do come out to wrestle in what is essentially a 1940s Navy bathing costume with white polka dots. Loved it.
Do.
If you are taking on LFI dressed as the He-Man villains, do show up in what looked like upgraded Power Ranger outfits, as Commander Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight did on Dynamite. Go Power Rangers.
They look pretty cool.
Yeah. Last one.
Don't.
If you are taking on one of the best wrestlers on the planet, don't show up in a spiky crab coat that makes you look like a Spiny from Super Mario Brothers, as Leo Rush did before losing to Will Ospreay on Collision. And that is this week's fashion do's and don'ts.
I
also have
fashion, K fabulous fashion.
Do.
Love the song.
Did you see it?
No.
Do.
I have
Don't.
to figure out how to do them while also reading the fashion on the same computer.
What about me? I don't get to do my do and don't.
No, yeah, you can do it with you can say it while the video's playing.
I don't want to say it while the video's playing.
Oh, okay, then fine. We just won't use those. But I liked my intro. So thank you, Mindrunner, for making that happen.
Somebody said, "Oh shit, I love that intro." Who was that?
That was Switch.
Oh, good.
Switch, our friend Mindrunner made it for us. We might be showing up on his podcast sometime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Check him out. He's awesome. He's on X.
So now with wait.
Oh.
It's the AEW News Report with K Fabulous. So let's see what news we have going this week, okay?
Sounds good. Brian Cage is one step closer to literally being a machine after undergoing surgery for a second time in 2 months. Cage revealed on Sunday that he's already back in the gym just 4 days after having his knee replaced, which is crazy. He's also 8 weeks removed from a separate surgery for a torn quad tendon. Cage says he opted for the knee replacement while already sidelined with the quad injury. Wish him a speedy recovery. Also, part of the injury report.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts? And he's already back in the gym. And he posted like a video of himself working out.
The man is truly a machine.
Mm-hmm. I think he's working out with Ricochet, I want to say.
Huh.
He credited whoever was taking the video of him. Check it out on his X.
Do we have a timetable for Cage's return? No.
We do not. No,
Okay.
because I mean, he just had the surgery, so.
Yeah.
Wardlow, who we have not talked about or heard from in a very long time, is now healthy and cleared to wrestle, but is currently working on an entertainment project. My favorite news of the week. Dalton Castle appears ready to return to the ring. A vignette featuring Castle and his boys aired on Thursday's edition of Ring of Honor TV on Honor Club. The boys approached a spaceship in the desert, and Castle emerged from the vessel, announcing that it was time for them to make some noise. Asa, what did you hear it was time for them to do?
I thought he said, "Boys, let's go break some hearts."
I mean, he might have said both.
I just read his lips though. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it with noise on, with the sound on.
With the noise on.
The noise on.
Well, either way.
It'd be better if he said, "Boys, let's go break some hearts."
Yeah, he might have said both.
I don't think he did.
Well, I like your version better.
Yeah.
But either way, he's been sidelined since July of last year. So after almost a year of being Daltonless, I'm just thrilled. Sorry, we don't normally comment on the news this much, but I love Dalton Castle.
Very exciting. One of the most entertaining wrestlers in the world today.
Can you imagine him and the Outrunners hanging out?
Yes, I can. I would love to see it.
I would love to see it. All right,
I
so
don't think the Outrunners are into guys though, but fuck, maybe they are.
you
I
don't
don't
have to
know.
be. No, he's been with them. I thought they were with him before as two of the boys
The Outrunners were two of the boys.
for one appearance, I believe. So, folks in the chat, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong,
I
but
don't
I think
know.
that happened.
I have no idea.
So our last injury update, Ty Mello made her AW return on Wednesday's Fighter Fest show, saving Anna Jay from an attacking Bane and Ford. While Mello returned to the ring for Stardom in January, she's been absent from AEW programming since 2023, first sidelined due to a back injury, then taking maternity leave as she welcomed her first child with her husband, Sammy Guevara. A roster change. Dun, dun, dun. No, it's good. Alex Windsor from Pro Wrestling Eve is now All Elite. She announced that she signed with the company after her last match for PWE. And now on.
Is it Eve or EVE?
Oh, it wasn't all capital.
Oh, really? Okay. I don't know.
I mean,
It's a British thing, right?
this is
Isn't it British?
yeah, this is something I pulled from Wrestling Observer, so I usually trust their capitalization, but they've been known to make errors, so not positive.
Yeah, it's some British thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
So this one I think is interesting. Warner Brothers this is now just a regular news, not a roster change. Warner Brothers Discovery announced on Monday that they intend to split up their various broadcast entities and other properties into two separate publicly traded companies by mid 2026. One called Global Networks will house their various networks like TBS and TNT, as well as some others. The other company, called Streaming and Studios, will house the soon to be renamed HBO Max streaming service where AEW programming can be seen and their TV and movie libraries are housed, along with some other production entities such as Warner Brothers, DC, etc. This is unlikely to affect AEW in the short term, as they are 1 year into their latest WBD TV contract that runs through 2027 with an option for 2028. Sorry. The next development in that partnership is the ability to offer pay-per-views on Max, which is expected sometime this year, unless this split alters that. Mercedes Moné has added yet another belt to her collection this week. She made a surprise appearance on Friday in a wrestling event in Vienna, Austria. She defeated Lexa Vallo and Mila Schmidt in a three-way match to win the EWA Women's Championship. So she dropped her Japan belt, I think, right? So she has 4 again.
I believe
Does
she
that
has,
sound right?
I don't know.
Yeah, we lost count. She's
Yeah.
got a lot of belts.
She's got a lot of belts.
Do you think she who was that? The Guns, like the Bang Bang Gang, or she's gonna get a cart to pull all her belts in?
No,
No.
no. That was the Bang Bang Gang.
Yeah.
That was when they had the Ring of Honor 6-man and the AEW Trios World titles.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. I trust you. The first 2 hours of Wednesday's AEW Fighter Fest this past week
I think so.
averaged 655,000 viewers on TBS, up 3% from the previous week's Dynamite. The 2-hour block finished 8th on all of the cable television among primetime broadcasts, with a 0.18 rating in the 18 to 49 demo. The second 2 hours of Fighter Fest, 10 p.m. to midnight, which we're referring to as the collision portion, averaged 380,000 viewers and a 0.10 rating in the 18 to 49 demo. To compare it to the previous Saturday's collision, the show was down 24.6% in overall viewers and 44.4% in the 18 to 49 demo. However,
Yeah, pretty big drop.
it is. But listening to our podcast again the other day, it made me realize that was like the highest collision had done in the year 2025.
You mean the one 2 weeks ago?
The one 2 weeks ago, because it followed the NBA game.
Right.
So with that lead in, it like skyrocketed it. So even
I believe it was the third highest
Was it the
rated
third highest?
collision this year.
oh, I'm sorry, the third highest rated. But looking at the percentages, even if this was a 24.6% drop,
Mhm.
that's still 20% higher than the previous week, like the 2 weeks ago. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Um,
but that's not how it works because it's a percentage increase over the last week. So you can't say it's 40% because
Oh.
you're basing it on previous week.
I gotcha.
But
All right.
I understand what you're saying.
Yes. Cool. Hopefully you guys do too. Last piece of news. It was announced today, whenever I pulled this, which was I think yesterday, that Sting will be appearing at Startcast Texas, which is taking place on Friday, July 11th and Saturday, July 12th. Starcast's organizer is collaborating with AEW as the official convention provider of All In 2025. So he will be in Texas. He will be at the convention. And we're pretty sure Tony already said that he's going to be at All In.
I believe
Just
you
not
said
this
that
week.
already.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so all I have left is the card. Do you want me to do that now, or do you want me to save
Well,
that?
first, thank you for the news.
Yes, you're welcome.
But yeah, why don't you go ahead and tell us what's
on tonight?
What's on tap for what's it called tonight?
Tonight is the Summer Blockbuster, or
Mm.
AEW Summer Blockbuster.
Like an Independence Day? You think they're gonna have someone dressed like an alien? And someone dressed like Will Smith?
And someone wearing a UFO with like straps.
Yeah.
No, I don't think any of those things are going to happen.
You think someone will be dressed as a shark?
For Shark Week?
No, for Jaws.
Oh, is that this week, Jaws?
It's a summer blockbuster.
Oh, good call.
Jesus Christ. Did you not get my joke?
I didn't get your joke.
Jesus
Yes, I think
Christ.
someone might actually be dressed as a shark.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
Like, honestly, I could see that maybe happening.
Well, Ghostbusters.
Maybe we could get a Return of Dark Order and one of them could be dressed as a shark. They are big Ghostbuster fans in AEW, so that is possible, but they've already done that. So, maybe
What's
Tony.
a blockbuster
What if
for
Tony
this
Storm
century?
comes out just like Dana? Oh,
What about blockbuster from this century? What comes out now? Avatar? Do those come out in the summer?
I don't know.
What comes? Superman comes out this year.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone's dressed.
No one's gonna do
Maybe they'll be
Superman?
cool if they have like a movie theme. Anyway, back
That
to
would
the
be cool.
matches. So tonight we have Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland, which I'm so excited about. We have
Two.
yes. We have MJF, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin versus Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Commander. So our favorite trios team from last week, we're making a reappearance. It'll be interesting to see how MJF works with the rest of the Hurt Syndicate because we haven't seen them work together, just against each other.
I assume they're gonna let Max do most of the work.
Yeah, I would imagine that also, or it's going to be a very short match. The all-in contract signing for Kazuchika Okada and Kenny Omega. Kyle Fletcher versus Anthony Bowens. Did something lead to that match that I have missed, or they're just having a match?
I don't remember anything that led to it.
Okay. Tony Storm versus Julia Hart with Mercedes Moné on commentary. We're seeing Thekla again versus Queen Aminata, and we will have Mystico in action. And like last week, I think
Mystico.
yes. Like last week, I think during the first 2-hour block, we will see at least one, if not more, matches announced for the second 2-hour block.
Well, how many matches is that? 7?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6?
Because one of them was a contract signing.
Are you sure it's just 6?
Yes, because one of them was a contract signing.
I think you might have missed something, but
I have 7 bullet points.
Okay, I still think you might have missed something, but
Well, I pulled this yesterday, so maybe if something was announced today.
Something too.
And then so far for All In, which is July 12th, we have Moxley versus Hangman, Tony versus Mercedes, and Okada versus Omega, with both titles on the line.
And for Tony and Mercedes, the women's world title, not the TBS, is on the line.
Correct.
And for Moxley and Hangman, the men's world title is on the line.
Yes. I don't think there is more than one title in that group. Ha! So Switch, backing me up. Outrunners were with Dalton Castle a few times. Thank you for having my back.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember that now.
So how many squash matches tonight? I think just one.
Mystico.
Unless they end up doing Queen Aminata as a squash, but I don't think they're going to do that because they're trying to build her up as they should.
They could bring in another CMLL guy to fight Mystico, so that could maybe not be a squash match, you know?
Yeah. I don't think it'll be a squash necessarily. Just normally when it says in action, that normally ends up being a squash, but hopefully they'll let him show off what he can do, since I think the whole reason they're doing this is to help us be more familiar with the CMLL guys.
Well, you know what's interesting is Saturday, WWE put on this Worlds Collide show with AAA and made a big deal about it. I mean, it was cool. I don't know if it was as big a deal as hey, what's up, Steven?
Hey.
I don't think it was as big a deal as they made out of it. It was a great show.
Mhm.
But why I'm bringing it up is, the action that they brought us is the stuff that happens on AEW every week. And they acted like it was a fucking revolution that happened, that there was some, entertaining wrestling on a WWE show. And it was not as revolutionary as they pretended. Like I said, when we've had Mystico within the last 2 weeks, the most popular Spanish wrestler at the moment, the most popular Mexican wrestler at the moment, I should say, wrestling in Mexico.
You think he's more popular than Vikingo?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Not in this house, but in Mexico, yes, I believe so. But when you have Mystico, when you have LFI, but even just their guests like Hechicero, who am I missing? Who have their guests been lately?
Mascara Dorado.
Dorada.
Atlantis Jr.
Templario. Right. Just having those guys, I mean, like I said, on a regular basis is something AEW does,
Mhm.
and they don't act like they're doing you this giant favor.
Yeah.
Nor do they come out of it with a stuffed animal being the biggest star of the whole thing.
That is
which
not what happened.
tells you everything you need to know about WWE.
That's not what happened at all. So what he's referring to is Mr. Iguana. So Steven, real quick, saying he enjoyed the AAA show better than
I loved it.
Money in the Bank. Mr. Iguana rules. Mr. Iguana was at both shows. So the reason he's in the news so much is because he was at the WWE show and he looks like a fucking iguana, kind of. I don't think that was the big takeaway from the AAA show. Steven also mentioning that Conan did a really good job on commentary. So the second half he did. The first half, I feel like he got some notes from someone at WWE, like trying to up his energy.
First half was strange.
Yeah, he was like very flat in his normal sort of way of talking. But then you had, what's that guy's name?
Corey Graves.
Corey Graves next to him.
Super excited.
Oh my
and
God.
his with the moonsault.
Yeah.
Dope, and Connor would just be like, dope it gun hero.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see the difference, because one of the things I don't really particularly like about WWE is their commentary, because it's like everything is a revelation. And so hearing Conan do like the exact opposite of that was really funny.
The interesting thing here is, and like people would be flipping around and killing themselves, and Conan would be like, the interesting thing about Ehud de Dr. Wagner is
his grandfather who died, and then he gets cut off by Corey Graves, and he never gets to finish the story.
Like, oh, there's a flipping double moonsault.
Oh, wait, hold on a second, guys. I got to tell you something. Just like cutting off the story about the dead grandfather. Trying not to bring down the audience, and then Steven saying Vikingo and Gable did a great job.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
That match was awesome.
That was great.
But back to AEW. Any title matches tonight?
I don't think so.
I also don't think so.
Not announced, at least.
Yeah. I'm looking again to see if anyone has.
Tony Storm's facing someone, but it's a non-title match.
Yeah,
Is that what you missed?
Julia Hart.
No, Julia Hart.
No, unless the match that I apparently am missing is a title match. I don't think that there is any.
I don't think there are any tonight, no. Which I hadn't even thought about.
Yeah.
Give us what? You 4 hours? Give us one fucking title match. Jesus Christ.
You talk and I'll look up the wrestling.
Was that the end? That's the end of the card?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I had a discussion.
Oh, okay.
So we just saw, this is appropriate because we just saw the AAA show with WWE. We're talking about all these CMLL stars that AEW is bringing over week after week. And we have Forbidden Door coming up when? In August?
Yes.
August something. So to get viewers more familiar with CMLL stars or New Japan stars or Stardom stars or all of them, should there be some sort of wrestler exchange program? And if so, what would it look like? Kay, I'm going to let you take this first.
Good, because it was my idea. Yes, I think there should be an exchange program. As far as what it looks like, I don't think it has to be like formulaic where you get this wrestler for this many months and we'll take this wrestler for this many months. They'll do this many matches. I think it can be kind of free flowing where our biggest complaint about Forbidden Door, which is an awesome show every year, is there's like almost never any build up to it. There are no stories, there's no build up. It has improved as they've gone on with it. Like last year, by far, we got the best introductions to the Japanese wrestlers. And I feel like they tried as best they could to make stories. But if you had this exchange program throughout the year with CMLL, with New Japan, one, the international title belt could be defended internationally, which I think it should be based on the name. But two, it would let us see these characters build potential stories. And then when they do have shows like Forbidden Door or just at any pay-per-view, we could have someone from another company come back to like finish unfinished business, you know? I think it'd be really good. And I think that it would make us have a bigger connection when we have a show like Grand Slam in Mexico City coming up, or when we have Forbidden Door. Because yes, a lot of AEW fans know the New Japan people because they also watch New Japan, but not all of AEW's fans do. We don't, because we don't have time. I mean, that's a lot of wrestling to keep up with everything, which is awesome. That's a lot of people do that. But for us, every year, it's like, who the fuck is that? You know? Yep. Year after year, we kind of get to know people. But if they came in not just the month before Forbidden Door, we'd get to know them so much better. And even like Hechicero, like we love Hechicero, and that's because we've seen him on AEW multiple times throughout the last like 2 or 3 years, 2 years, I think. And so having these wrestlers, kind of like Ishii does, is kind of what gave me the idea. Like Ishii almost has like a residency where he's part of a stable, but he's not in AEW all the time. And so when he comes back, not only is there like a huge pop and everyone's excited because he's back, if they're a fan of Ishii, but also like it's a continuing storyline that he's like woven in and out of. Those are my thoughts.
So I would also be for the wrestler exchange program. I'm not sure how I would want it to look either. I actually think it would be a cool idea to have it be a wrestler for a wrestler. And then that way you might even have some ready-made feuds. You know, I didn't want to go to fucking Mexico. They sent me down there. Yeah. They sent me down there for you, Hechicero.
Oh, MJF. I could see MJF.
Yeah, MJF. I didn't want to go to fucking Mexico.
Yeah.
Like, and now I'm gonna beat your ass for it. You know. Just things like that. Or, you know, I didn't want to go away from AEW. I was about to win the international title, and they shipped me to CMLL, and I mean things like that. So I think having very clearly say these two wrestlers for these two wrestlers, you could have no story, or you could make it a story. So I think doing that would be interesting. And then even if you did no story, it would be up for the fans to debate. It's like a sports trade. You know, who got the best of this talent exchange, that kind of thing.
And I'm not talking about like a huge number of wrestlers for a huge number of wrestlers, but if there was like 2 or 3, you know, between the two other companies, I think that could be really interesting.
Or if you even did to take an idea of, again, from non-planned sports, if you had a draft, you know, say 5 per side, you know.
I don't like that.
Or
that's too WWE
per side or something.
Ish.
No, but it would be interesting, you know. Who does CMLL? Who do they want? Who does AEW want from CMLL or Stardom or whatever? And it would be very interesting, you know. You could end up with some interesting changes going on there.
And one thing I said when Asa and I were talking about this as a possible topic is like during Forbidden Door, you could even have AEW wrestlers wrestling for the other side. You know, like if you have a wrestler that's with New Japan, you might, like, if they split up a tag team in AEW and sent one partner to New Japan to wrestle there, they might face their partner during Forbidden Door, and then you have the whole drama with like fighting against your best friend because you're being forced to. I don't know. I just feel like AEW has gotten so much better with stories, and I really love their storytelling. However, they usually have like 2, maybe 3 stories going, and then everyone else is kind of just random matches, or it's like a 2-episode story. And I feel like this can give them some longevity to especially some of those mid-card storylines. So Switch saying, I like that idea, but y'all trust AEW to give them good storylines. I think so, because I feel like it helps tell us, like, the story gets told for you almost, you know? Like, it would be hard to fuck up. Not that they couldn't, but I like to give them the benefit of the doubt when I can.
I agree. I think they would do a good job with it. Yeah. And then, because as Kay said, even if you don't assign a story, there's a story there. There's a story built into it.
And even if Tony Khan doesn't give them a story, the wrestlers themselves can make a story on Twitter. You know, like they can stir up any beef that they want.
Yeah.
So Switch saying WCW did something like that back in the day, where they had friends on opposite teams fight each other. Yeah, I just think that's interesting. Oh, that's like that random drawing tag match.
Yeah, are you talking about the Lethal Lottery? I think he's talking about the Lethal Lottery.
Yeah, that was cool.
Or WCW, what they used to do is they divide up the face locker room, and they'd have a camera in there, and the heel locker. Everyone was dressed, don't worry, and they have the heel locker room and a camera in there, and then they would like a bingo sifter or whatever, and they'd have all the names in it. What's it called? And they'd have all the names in it, and so they'd pick out one and it'd be like Booker T and Sting, and then they pick out another, would be like Stevie Ray and Vader, so Booker T and Stevie Ray, Harlem Heat, would have to fight each other. And then a lot of times, you would get maybe Sting and Vader instead would end up on the same team. So you get, and it was supposed to be random, but of course it wasn't.
Yeah.
And you would have teammates fight teammates, friends fight friends, you would have enemies teaming up.
It's like what they did in AEW with pairing Adam Cole and MJF together. That was in a random draw tag team match. Random draw. And so
Or wasn't a tournament?
It was a tournament, yeah.
I think so.
Well, I meant, yeah, to have a match in the tournament. I meant, sorry, yes.
Yeah, that is how we would think this wrestler exchange would go down.
Yeah.
And so now, folks, it's time.
Wait, I have one more question.
What?
I didn't discuss this with you because it happened when I was going over the title histories. So at least 2 of the titles, the longest record held is by people who are no longer with the company.
What does this have to do with anything?
I was going to say, do you think they need to break those records? Oh, wait, well, one of them's a retired belt. Never mind. It's just the women's TBS title, I guess is what made me think of it. So, like, Jade Cargill had it for 508 days, which is a giant record. It's the belt that's been held the longest by any one person at one time in AEW. So, if you were Tony Khan and you're trying to like build a history with this company, would you try and break that record like how WWE did with the Honky Tonk Man when they wanted people to stop saying Honky Tonk Man?
Yes, but I don't think you need to do it with the TBS title. I don't think you need to do the
like
same thing again. But I think it's not good to have Jade Cargill be your longest reigning champion of all time. Whether she's in WWE or not, she's just not talented enough to have been. I mean, I'm being serious.
No, I know you are.
She's just not talented enough to have been your longest reigning champion. So, I think it's something that they should set in mind to break. It's just a question of what title. I would even say not the TBS title, because that's just too obvious it's being manufactured. And then plus, like, God, you got these 2 fucking year-and-a-half reigns as TBS champions. That's weird.
So the
Monet's had it for a while, though.
It's not close. She's had it for According to AEW's website, as of today, she's had it for 381 days.
Hey, that's close.
No, but you know who is close
That's
to breaking
close.
it is
What you say was 500 some?
yeah, 508, and she's at 300 and something.
That's pretty close.
Okada has had his belt, according to AEW's website, as of today, 448 days.
Oh,
So he's
okay.
close.
500 and what is it?
It's 508 for Jade
Okay.
Cargill.
All right.
And then he's at 448. I just thought it just was something that popped in my head as I was making these today.
So he'd have to beat Omega to keep
Yeah.
it. And they would have to keep the Continental title around.
Yeah, which we'll see. I don't
know.
I don't expect them to necessarily, but
Interesting.
oh, so that's interesting. So Steven's saying they need the 30-day rule back after commenting that Jade was not even defending it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you want to tell people what the 30-day rule is?
So the 30-day rule is an old wrestling thing. I don't think we ever hear it in AEW. I could be mistaken.
No.
But what that means is a champion has to defend the belt at least every 30 days or they're stripped of the title. And back in the day, heels, would do this, where they would, only defend it once every 30 days. Some heels would. And then that's how they get their heat, and then it's they desperately beat off the challenge posed by the face. And then they keep their title for what we know is going to be another 30 days because they're not going to defend it. And, it gets good heat. But that's the 30-day rule to which he refers.
Mm-hmm. Switch agreeing with Steven that they should bring that back.
Mm.
It's not a bad idea. When the Young Bucks had their 400-day streak of having the tag titles, I was all for that because they very rarely defended them. Same thing with Death Riders and the Trios titles. I felt like they shouldn't have had those belts because they never defended them practically.
All right. Well, coming up now we have the top fives. Your AEW top five rankings, where each week we rank the top five women, the top five men, and the top five teams in the company. We debate, we assign values, we make our own lists. These lists are merged into another list, much in the same way you merge one half of a sandwich into another half. And they merge like this, and then you see what sticks to either side. And that is how we make our top five rankings.
That is a terrible explanation.
So we're going to start with men, women, or teams.
Well, since we were just talking about the TBS title, let's start with women.
Women. Number 5 this week, same spot as last week, is former TBS champion Julia Hart of the Hounds of Hell. Number 4 this week, she made her debut, beating Lady Frost, and is fighting Queen Aminata, who I think is grossly overrated.
Overrated?
Overrated.
Oh, I think she's underrated.
We're number 4 is Thekla. Number 3, the lady who she beat. She beat Julia Hart.
Who are you talking about?
She got the title shot at Double or Nothing. She was number 3 last week. She remains number 3 this week. Mina Shirakawa.
Yeah.
She beat Julia Hart.
Yes, with Tony Storm. It was a tag match.
Oh, it was a tag match. Yeah. Oh, okay. Who was it? Hart and whom?
Hart and Blue.
Ah, that's correct. Number 2, same spot as last week. She won the Owen Hart Cup, and she's the TBS champion and undefeated in singles matches on a very hot streak. And that is Mercedes Moné. And number 1, she has been there for months. She is the AEW World Champion, and she's the one defending against Moné, and that is Timeless Tony Storm.
Yeah, we didn't do t-shirt checks, but
Okay, do you want to share your t-shirt?
I'm wearing my Timeless Tony Storm t-shirt with the film winding through it. What about you, Asa?
I'm wearing my American Dragon Bryan Danielson t-shirt, which was exclusive in the AEW All Elite crate. This is not a paid advertisement.
But AEW, if you want to pay us, we'll take your money.
Correct. Yes. Let's do teams. Yeah.
Sounds good.
So teams, this can be men's, women's, tag, or trios teams. Number 5, the team we were just talking about, world champion Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa, a formidable force. Number 5, they were unranked last week. They just started teaming up here lately.
Really quickly in the chat, if you have your own top 5 or disagree or agree, just let us know in the chat.
Number 4, they were unranked last week. That's the trios team of Rush Derlistico and the Beast Mortos, a formidable trios team, and that's LFI. Even though they lost to Bailey, Commander, and Knight. Number 3 ranking, former multi-time World Tag Team Champions. They're up from number 4 last week. They got a win over Templario and Atlantis Jr., and that is FTR at number 3, the heel FTR.
Did you say they're up from last week, or
They're up. They were number 4 last week. They're number 3 this week.
Gotcha.
Number 2, they were unranked last week because they had never been a team before. Bless you. Bless
Thank
you.
you.
And so number 2, Kyle Fletcher, former international champ Konosuke Takeshita, and CMLL star Hechicero, number 2. They got the win over, who would they be?
Who?
Fletcher, Takeshita, and Hechicero.
They beat Bandito and the Outrunners, didn't they?
Correct. And the number 1 team this week, very impressive. They were in the AEW Match of the Week. They won the AEW Match of the Week. And that is Commander, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight, number 1 ranked team. So that's number 1, Bailey, Commander, and Knight. Number 2, Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita, and Hechicero. Number 3, FTR. Number 4, LFI. And number 5, Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. And let me do the rundown of the women. I didn't do that. Number 1, Tony Storm. Number 2, Mercedes Moné. Number 3, Mina Shirakawa. Number 4, Thekla. And number 5, Julia Hart. And now, last but not least, the men top 5. Number 5, he kept his Ring of Honor World Television title in a 4-way match. And that is Nick Wayne of the Patriarchy, number 5. Very impressive lately. Number 4, I believe the best wrestler in the world right now. He was number 5 last week. Got a win over Leo Rush this week. Bounced him up a spot to number 4, and that is Will Ospreay. Number 3, he is the AEW International Champion, former World Champion. He successfully defended his belt in a 4-way match against Castagnoli, King, and who?
Castagnoli, King. Oh, for the
international.
Omega and wasn't that a CMLL guy? Yes, it was. I want to say Moscato Dorado.
Yes. So number 3, unranked last week. He's back in the top 5, and that is Kenny Omega. I think he just didn't wrestle last week. Number 2, the Owen Hart Cup winner, the number 1 contender to the world title. He's getting a shot at All In July, and he was number 2 last week, and that is Hangman Adam Page. And number 1, he has been there for months straight. The leader of the Death Riders, the world champion, Jon Moxley. So that's number 1, Jon Moxley. Number 2, Hangman Page. Number 3, Kenny Omega. Number 4, Will Ospreay. Number 5, Nick Wayne. And those are your AEW top 5s this week. Who are we going to see tonight out of these top 5s? There was no Moxley, no Page,
no Omega,
no
Ospreay. Yes, Ospreay.
Who's he fighting?
He's wrestling Swerve.
Oh, that's right, Ospreay and Swerve. No Nick Wayne. Tony Storm is fighting someone in a non-title match.
Yeah, she's fighting Julia Hart.
Thekla is having a match against Queen Aminata. No Mina, no Mercedes.
Mercedes will be on commentary.
Right. Teams, Bailey, Commander, and Knight, they're fighting someone.
They're fighting MJF and
Oh, that's
the
right. No,
Hurt Syndicate.
Hurt Syndicate. Fletcher, Takeshita, Hechicero, no. No. FTR, no. LFI, no.
Fletcher's in a match, but it's a solo match.
Right. I was just curious who
Yeah.
out of the rankings we would see tonight.
So switch.
So we're going to have some very different rankings next week because you got to keep in mind, you know, you don't have these rankings are from week to week. So some weeks you can win 2 matches, or maybe you go 1-1, maybe you go 0-2. But the last week we did both shows in one night. Now this week we're doing both shows in one night. No one's doubling up on their matches. So to get in the rankings, you better win the one match you have this week. So
yeah, unless you have a belt that's not the trios or tag belts.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Or TBS belt. We don't usually count that either.
Well, we count it. We just they don't get automatic spots. Yeah. Like
or any of the men's
and the women's world champion,
they get
automatically get number 1, and then the rest of the spots we determine. So there's a little glimpse inside the curtain.
I feel like that was a glimpse they should have probably noticed at this point already.
Yeah. So what were you getting ready to say?
Oh, that Switch says, in his opinion, Nick Wayne should be number 4 and Will should be number 5. That's my through the table disagree. LOL.
Nick Wayne's win was definitely better than Ospreay's win over Leo Rush, but Ospreay, it's tough. But then Ospreay is a much better wrestler than Nick Wayne, so it's tough there. It's tough, you know.
Switch.
Does Ospreay get punished just because his opponent is not as good as Nick Wayne's opponent? I don't know. Maybe yes. Maybe yes.
Isn't his job to make his opponent look as good as Nick Wayne's opponent?
Well, that's why Ospreay is number 4, right?
Yeah. So Switch saying, "What? My bro is drinking water. Yes, Lord."
Yep.
Yeah, we're working on that.
I'm gonna get some coffee. I'm tired already. We haven't even started the show. Okay, so folks, that's the show for tonight. We appreciate you joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We enjoyed doing it for you. For the listeners, thanks for listening. For those of you who want to listen later, this is on Spotify. It's on iTunes, or what's it called? Apple Podcasts. It's on all the places. Podcasts. It's on all those.
It will be in like less than 15 minutes. It's not there yet.
Right. It will be on all those places very soon. We're on YouTube. We're on X. This is on Twitch, so you can watch it later on YouTube. Listen to it later wherever you want. Here's what we got coming up tonight, 7:55. We're doing the 4-hour AEW show, so get some coffee, join us. It's gonna be a fun time. Man, I already drank a pot of coffee today.
Oh my God, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna get maybe an energy drink or something, so I'm not drinking another pot of coffee. But yeah, so 7:55, we're doing our AEW show tomorrow night. 6:50 p.m. 650. We're doing a retro watch along of WCW Great American Bash 89. There is a War Games match. The main event sees world champion Ric Flair defending his title against Terry Funk. A bunch more is going on that show. And then Friday at what time do we say we're starting?
Hold on, I'll pull up the schedule. You go ahead and tell them what it is while I pull up the schedule.
So Friday night, we're excited. It's Friday the 13th. So we're doing a watch along double feature of 2 Friday the 13th movies.
Starting at 6:55.
Starting at 6:55. So we'll gather at 6:55. We'll actually start the movie around 7:05. There'll be a countdown. We all press play at the same time. So find yourself an unedited copy. We're watching Friday the 13th Part 3 and Friday the 13th Part 8. And so find yourself an unedited copy on, Blu-ray, DVD, VHS, whatever. Just try for it not to be one with commercials, or you'll get off the timing with the rest of us. So try and just make it a copy with no commercials. and with no editing, because then you'll get it off also. So just a real copy of the movie, no editing, no commercials, to stay online with everyone. But Friday the 13th Part 3, and Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. We're doing those.
This time I picked them.
We're doing those 6:55 on Friday. What have we got coming on? Is that it for this week?
That's it for this week. Because
That's it.
there's no collision.
There's no collision Saturday.
We're
Watching it tonight.
Blockbuster.
And then I think AEW Weekly. I think we're gonna start doing it on Wednesdays. So, I think after Friday, I think the next time we'll see you is Wednesday. We'll see. We have a new segment that's going to debut this week. It's called Wrestling Rainbow. It is like reading Rainbow, except all the books are about wrestling.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna be the host, and I'm gonna take you through some of. I read a lot of wrestling books. I'm gonna take you through some of my favorites, maybe some of my not so favorites. Tell you what's good and what's bad about them, and hopefully you like reading wrestling books like I do, learning stuff, reading some of these autobiographies, and hopefully I can kind of guide you towards some of the ones maybe you haven't read yet, or tell you which ones to stay away from. But that's starting this week, and we have another segment, another show that's starting this week that I don't want to reveal yet.
This week or next week?
Next week.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
next week's schedule, there will be a new thing, and I'm not revealing it yet. But anyways, we'll see you 7:55. Not back on this feed. This feed is ending, so when we come back on, you'll have to find us again for what's it called? Hollywood Blockbuster?
Summer Blockbuster.
Summer Blockbuster.
You know, an easy way to do that is to
like and subscribe
and turn on your notifications.
Yeah, subscribe and turn on your notifications, and it'll tell you exactly where we come up.
And just because we're fans of independent wrestling, I want to put this up again. So there's going to be an indie show, the NCWA, in Clayton, North Carolina, at the Clayton Fitness Center. You got Tommy Rich, Barbarian,
former world champion Tommy Rich.
Sorry, former world champion Tommy Rich. PCO, Rick Link, Congo Kong.
Rick Link threatened to anally rape me.
Oh, really? Is that the guy?
That's the guy.
He was a wrestling manager at the time, or was this?
I was a wrestling manager.
Yeah, he wasn't just like randomly coming up to him. And C.W. Anderson, who wrestles in AML a lot. Sounds like an awesome show. That's going to be July 19th, bell time 7:30.
I can't believe that guy's still
That sounds great. Which guy?
Rick Link.
Oh, well, apparently.
All right.
Unless it's his ghost.
Oh, great. Fuck that guy. Anyways, so yeah, go see that show anyways, because independent wrestling is a great thing. Yeah, so we'll see you 7:55. No Bones About Wrestling presents AEW Summer
Blockbuster.
Summer Blockbuster. See you in a bit, folks.
Bye.
Bye.